And good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody.
Hi, it's a new week. Hello, welcome.
Right. Listen, it's Tuesday. Because remember, we're doing these Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday now.
hmm
And in today's video, we want to cover some shortcuts and hacks that we found inside of a book called The 4 Hour Work Week.
I love the 4 Hour Work Week. If you've never read it, you should read it. Now, I will just disclaimer, it's a great headline. It's not really about, if you're thinking, oh, if I could just work 4 hours, right, every
Right.
week for the rest of my life. But I guarantee that people who publish that book, the writer of the book, the ghostwriter of the book are working more than 4 hours a week. But the hacks in that book are, they just make perfect sense. Even for employees, not just business owners.
Right. Like one of the first examples he goes over was as an employee on how to
hmm
get some of your time back. So I love that book.
Yeah, so I thought we'd talk about some of our favorite things inside of the 4 Hour Work Week. So, and I'll go first. And there's so many to choose from. Um, and I haven't even read it recently, but almost everything that I do now that has to do with time hacking came from that book.
Mm.
Okay, so a couple of my favorite things are using your messages to educate your customers, prospects, whatever it is that you're looking at, using messages like your voicemail, your vacation message, to really train people on how to communicate with you in a way that is most effective for you and them.
Yep.
And so, like using your vacation message, turning your vacation message on inside of Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, whatever. But instead of, you're not on vacation, right? Instead, it's just an auto response that people get. So you can put anything you want in there. And what I use is something very similar to what he says in the book. And I'm paraphrasing, but it goes something like this. I check my email Monday through Friday, every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., whatever, right? You make up a real time that you check your mail. And in order to serve you better, we're making this move in order to serve you better, right? Because basically you're so busy, right? So you want to word that in a way. It's like, we're really, really swamped. So we're doing this in an effort to serve you and our customers better, but you're telling them exactly when to check your mail. So if you say you check your mail Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and it's Saturday, they now get a response back knowing that you may not see that piece of mail until Monday at 10 a.m. Right. And so then also on the vacation message, you can put something like, if this is an urgent matter, please call my cell phone at, or please call my cell phone. I would not put my cell phone number in the vacation message, but that basically means if somebody is important enough to you that they actually have your personal cell phone number, they can call your cell phone number. Then if they call your cell phone number, your voicemail in there says, I check my messages my voicemail once a day, right? Monday through Friday at such and such a time. If this is an absolute emergency, right? You give them some instructions, but also on your voicemail, you want to get people to leave you a very detailed message. One of the messages that I really hate is when people just call and say, hey, this is Jane. Could you just call me back? Or even when I get texts like that, have people ask them to be more specific. You have to ask for these things. Right. So it's like, please leave a detailed message of exactly what it is that you're looking for. That way I can research it before I call you back. Right. And we're doing this in an effort to serve you better. And so those are like a couple of my favorite things is just doing that. And then really only checking your messages at the times you say for your time hack. Right. Because most things aren't that urgent. If you really want to, really want a time hack is get like a Google Voice and have most things go to Google Voice and only give your cell phone to people that you have to tell them this is for emergency only phone number.
Yep.
And if you abuse it, you can never call me again on this number.
And Google Voice transcribes voicemails for you. Mm-hmm. So you can pull them up on your computer to just read them.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
Unless you have a really funky person who talks like with a slur or something, then it's really funny. It's really funny. So it's also entertaining.
It's comedic relief for you.
Right. Yes.
My hack is setting up proper expectations for meetings. So I've recently implemented this, and I let my team know, like, I have office hours on this day. And you can schedule a 30-minute appointment. When you schedule your 30-minute appointment, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please like write those down and bring those with you so that we can like, what is it? Did I say? So that we can make the best of our 30 minutes. Like, and I give actionable steps and things like that to follow up at our next meeting. But some stuff is follow up specifically for team meetings because it's something that the team could benefit from knowing. And some stuff is, hey, as soon as I get the information, I'll send you a DM with a response, right? But within that 30 minutes, they already know I have a hard stop at the 30-minute mark. So we're not going to go over. And I need you to come prepared to make this meeting as productive as possible. And that has been working very well since I've started implementing it.
Yeah, it's like, I think we all have to like work on that too, because this is the 4-hour work week isn't the only place that I learned that. Like what Josh Smith, who is a realtor mentor I follow, who probably learned it from the 4-hour work week, talks about this all the time, that if you don't know the agenda for the meeting, you don't attend. So like if you're a network marketer and you have people want to book time with you, what is it for? Or, like Christine and I do a lot of things. So are we doing a 3-way call? Are we going to talk about your minor location? Are we going to talk about charting? Or what specifically is this meeting for? And it gives everybody more productive use of the time, like Christy said, because you know what it is that we're going to be talking about. So these are like top earner hacks.
Yep.
Because top earners have the same amount of time in their day as everybody else, but they're when you start figuring out what is your time worth per hour, and then what is your time worth per minute, and what is your time worth per second, and let's say you're not your goal. What's your first full-time goal? I don't like to do this. Oh well, I'm earning 7 figures my time. What's your first full-time goal, and how many hours a week do you want to work with that full-time goal? So let's say I'm going to just be conservative. Let's say it's like $75,000 a year and you want to be able to accomplish that in 20 hours a week. You're going to just do the math. $75,000 divided by, you can do it a lot of different ways. You could do 20 hours a week times 52 and then figure out what your hours are worth, or you can, do the math. 75,000 is how much per month or how much per week, and then divide the 20 hours. But now you have this thing like my time is worth this much per hour, but have you ever thought about what it's worth per minute?
Yep.
We know some people whose time is worth like thousands of dollars per second. So you want to think in those terms as far as, and money too. Think about money in pennies and think about time in seconds, because when you start breaking it down, you'll realize that you want to be much more efficient with your time.
Yep. That was one of the things I did when I was a massage therapist. Because yes, I've done a lot. For massage therapy, my standard was $60 an hour. It is $1 per minute. The minimum is $60 with a $20 deposit that is not refundable if you miss your appointment or if you do not cancel your appointment within 24 hours. Guess how many people canceled? Guess how often I got cancellations? Guess how many consistent clients I had as a result of just setting that precedent, right? Like, and then I had all of my clients also sign a contract letting them know at any time, I, as a massage therapist, choose who my clients are. And I have the right not to choose to work with specific people as well. So that it was always like an open line of communication, because I needed them to know what my expectations are. Because being a female in the massage therapy industry and working on athletes and things like that can sometimes be very, very slippery. So yes, I set the expectations first before, and doing that. I'm losing my voice again, I think.
Yes, you are. I was just going to say that you were.
That's another hack.
We're singing right? In soprano. We're doing this whole thing in soprano today.
Right. That's the other hack that I have is when you're delegating tasks to people, be very specific and make sure that when you're delegating that task, you give them a deadline that is well before the actual deadline, just in case there are any edits or any changes or alterations that need to be done to the work, or if there is an extension or something like that that's needed, right? So when you are, because we talked about our outsourcing a couple of days ago, and when you're outsourcing your task, if it's due Friday and you're outsourcing it on Monday, set that end date as Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when you're outsourcing it, be very specific and give them, the person that you're outsourcing to, or the person that you're delegating a task to, the ability to ask questions for clarification before they begin work. Let them know that your expectation is for them to ask any necessary questions before they begin. That way, the work comes back to you in like the way that you thought that it would, based on the directions that you gave. Don't be afraid to be very clear in the directions that you're giving when you're outsourcing or when you're delegating tasks within your organization.
Yeah, another favorite hack of mine is batching, and that comes from the 4-hour work week. And I'm sure that he didn't invent any of this stuff, right? He learned it somewhere else as well, right? No original ideas anymore, right? Just like repackaging of them. But batching is a real thing. And like, I don't know if I even have it sitting here. I got my new, I like to have like a physical calendar that I write stuff in, and then I use my online color calendar. You're probably not gonna be able to see this, but
we have the same one.
I don't know. This one, I can't see it, but it has, mine is 15-minute increments, and I look for this very specific one every year.
Find that? Mine's 30.
Yeah, I get this one every year, but it's hard to find. I got it on Amazon, and I do 15 minutes because that way I can book 4 appointments in an hour, or if I need 30 minutes, I got 2 time slots. But what I see a lot of people do is, no matter what kind of calls, maybe you still do 3-way calls in your business, or you're doing team calls or whatever, one-on-ones, whatever it is. And they're like, well, I want to give enough time to talk to people. So they'll schedule 1 appointment for the whole hour and block it out, right? Or they'll schedule maybe 2 in 30 minutes, but you only need 15 minutes to get done for that particular type of call, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of the calls I schedule are 15 minutes, some 30, some hour, some 90 minutes, depends on what phase of, who it is and what phase of like the interview process they're in when we teach you the interview process. So when you're doing these things, when you batch things together, it makes you be more respectful of everybody's time, because it's like, okay, we have 15 minutes, right? I've got another appointment at 12:15. So, let's get right to it. Right. And it makes you do things and get more done in less time. I have a strict schedule now. My nights and weekends are completely for my family with only few exceptions. So that means by 4 p.m. every day, I need to be done with the things that I need to be done with. And it's a lot, but you can get a lot done in an 8 or a 10-hour time frame. Right. So, but if you're not batching, it's stuff is spread out. Plus there's a thing, like when I took my realtor license test, okay, I took it a very specific strategic way, because your brain, it processes things better when you're doing repetitive types of things in batches. So if you're doing like first interview calls and you're doing like back to back to back to back to back to back, and maybe you get 6 done in like an hour, right? 6 done in 90 minutes. Then you switch over to doing something different. It takes a little while to get into the groove of the next thing you're working on, because your brain is doing this. So when you have to switch back and forth, well, I'm doing a phone call now I'm working on my website. Now I got to go back and do a phone call. Now I'm working on my website. It takes your brain a while to switch back to the task. You're not going to be as quick and as efficient if you just would have batched, like, I'm going to do all my 3-way calls on this, on Tuesdays between 3 and 6, right? That's what I do during this time frame, right? And from 12 to 2, I work on my website. And when you batch those things together, it's just much more efficient, and you actually crank out a lot more stuff, because I'm all about doing as much as I possibly can with the minimal requirement.
Yeah.
Not less than the minimal requirement, though.
Right.
Right. So it's like, what's the least amount of effort and time I need to put in to get this done at maximum results, Yeah. And a lot of us are doing a lot more than is necessary. So that's how we get burned out. Burnout comes.
I found out that if I do the batching, and I set myself a shorter amount of time than what I want, I get all of it done.
Yeah, wow.
Because your brain is like, right. Your brain is like, you got to get it done. And I don't batch for, like, when I'm sitting, I don't batch for more than an hour and a half without taking a break, you know? But yeah, like that, this book helped. It was definitely a good, not read, because I'm not a reading person. I'm an audiobook person because I kind of like to multitask. But yes, this was helpful. Like, I think did I give this as an assignment for the team? I think I did.
I don't know. Did you?
Oh yeah, because I know Ollie read it.
It's a good book. Yes. Hey, Ollie, home fry.
Right.
The 90-minute thing you were just talking about too, and we can do this training on another, because there's a whole thing called the 60-90s. 90 minutes is the longest that your brain can focus on something without taking a break.
Yep.
And so you want to take a break after 90 minutes, and we can talk about what's called 60-90s, and this is to help you be more efficient as well. I just need to also start getting back to doing 60-90s, and so it'll be a good like training to do, because
Christy taught me that.
Yeah, the 60-90s. Well, and I learned it from Josh Smith, right, for when I was in real estate, and then he learned it from who knows what book, probably one of, because readers are leaders, guys. It's not like if you go out there, all the information you need is there. You just need to, absorb it. You're not going to absorb everything at once, right? And do I implement everything that I learned in the 4-hour work week? Right? I think I've read it 7 or 8 times because I am a reader. That's how I retain information. No, there are things in there that don't relate to me. Right. I don't view everything. So if you could just find 1 or 2 hacks out of that book, you're doing good, right? I've taken classes at the tech school, and the director who's in charge of the marketing department over there, shout out to Ed. Okay. Anyway, Ed said, look, why are you taking this class? Well, most of the kids, I say kids, but actually it's a tech college. So there's a lot of older people there too. I'm taking this class because I have to for my degree. Right? That's like the standard answer. But he's like, you know what? Every class you take, so the classes are around $500 at the tech school, right? So it's a pretty inexpensive way to get education over at the tech colleges. $500 for the class. He's like, make sure you get $500 worth of information out of this class. Every class you take. So it's like same thing with the book, right? Like if you paid $20 for the hardcover, did you get at least $20 worth of information out of that book? I mean, that's what you're really looking for. And the chances are, if you actually read the book, that you're going to get more than $20 worth of information out of it.
Right. No. Not if you read the book. If you read the book and implemented something that resonated with you, like put in, that's one of the things that I was talking to the team about Sunday. Like, do me a favor. If you take the time to do the research, implement the thing that you are researching at least once or twice to see,
Just right.
Like, at least put your foot in the water. Don't just stand in front of it looking like at your reflection, like this is shiny and cool. Like, actually do some of the work, because like the way I look at it, as Christy and I are very, very, very busy, and people don't think we sleep, but it's because we have our schedules put together in a way that makes us efficient. And it's because, like I said, I like to multitask when I listen to my audiobooks, because I'm usually doing something that it comes easy to me. So I can pay attention to the book while getting another task done. Right. And then I love listening to it because I can always pause it and take my notes. But when I'm doing that, it's not to say, oh, I read that book. It's to say, okay, what did I get out of this book? And I'm only taking note. Like the first time I go through books, I only take notes on stuff I want to do. Right. And if I take a couple of notes, I'll have to narrow it down to like, what can I do right now that'll make the biggest impact? Right. Because like I do a lot of personal development books, but they're not like meditating and relaxing. It's like, how can I become the most efficient person by getting to the end of this book?
Right. Because at the end of the day, why are we doing this? We're doing this so that we can live life in our own way. And for me, it's not to rely, it's not because I want to plug it. I want leave the job where they say I have to attend at a certain time to get into a network marketing company where I have to work on somebody else's schedule.
Right.
Right. I make my schedule. Christy makes her schedule. Right. So that's why I listen to almost everything recorded, because it's my schedule. This is why I do the business. And for recordings, it's just my learning curve. I have a hard time listening to audio. So I have to put it on a higher speed. Some of you don't realize that if you can put your stuff on a higher speed, you can also slow it down.
Yep.
As well, depending on what your learning thing is, right? I need to hear it a little faster because my brain is like, it gets bored and it like wanders like off into something else, because I do process information really, really quickly. And then if I'm like, oh, I really need to hear that, then I'll slow it back down, right?
Yep.
Take a note, because it's like Chris has said, this is something I want to do. But like I was listening to Josh Smith again. It's like, you guys should find him on YouTube. Even if you're not in realtor stuff, he's really pretty awesome. He has a podcast where he interviews entrepreneurs, mostly in real estate, but he's just a self-development, personal, development guru as far as I'm concerned. But what I was going to say about him, one of his assistants was telling me, I was talking to him on the phone, he listens to his books in double speed. Well, no, he's not taking notes, but it's osmosis. It's this thing where if he's not talking to a client or doing his podcast, he's constantly listening to stuff, but he doesn't listen to it on regular speed. He listens to it on double speed because he's not looking to retain every little single thing
right
in there. He's just trying to keep himself filled. And so he hears a lot of, he listens to so many books because he listens on double speed.
Right. We like to, like, with personal development, we like to make sure that we're controlling the information that comes in and the information that goes out. So like a lot of people, I know one of the chairmen in our company said that when he started his personal development journey, he walked around with headphones on all the time, because in the beginning, trying to stop those negative thoughts and things like that is hard to do if you don't do it, if you've never done it before. So putting those headphones on and just listening to something that you can control what the information is helps to start that process. I know our mentor says that he did that as well in the beginning of his journey. Like, I know when I'm on flights, I listen to Think and Grow Rich on just about every flight, unless I'm working on something else or I'm listening to Think and Grow Rich while I'm on my laptop. Like, in what is this? I think I took 10 flights this year. So that was a lot of Think and Grow Rich, but it's because the conversations that happen in the background and all of that stuff, it's not always conducive to my lifestyle. So just being able to control that mental environment is something else that's going to help you get ahead of the curve as well.
And you could get a whole 4-year college education equivalent degree in something you want to learn in your car.
Yep.
You want to learn Spanish? Listen to Spanish stuff in your car while you're driving around. You're driving around anyway. Don't turn on talk radio or music. Just turn on something you want to learn. I have this whole book on prospecting that I've listened to, that I only listened to that one in the car. So it took me a while to get through it, right? But even if it's like 10 minutes to, the store, that's what automatically plays when I get in the car. So these are just hacks. They're hacks. Because I don't have time. Jeff Bezos has the same 24 hours a day you do. He's not superhuman, right?
Yep.
Elon Musk has the same 24 hours a day you do. He's not superhuman, but I do think he might be an alien.
So listen.
Oh, come on. You think he's an alien too?
I don't think he's Elon Musk is different.
It's a joke.
I think Elon Musk is very unique as an individual. And if that's the case, then I think Kurt's an alien, because the way their brains work is not quite normal. Right. Like the way that they process information is the way that they give out information is not quite normal. Like the thought processes that they go through in order to get from point A to point B.
So not aliens, evolved humans who came back in time.
Yep. Time travelers. Yes. Yep. Conspiracy theory time travelers. They are. Yes. Conspiracy theory time over.
Yes. So that we were digressing, but it's just, I was just joking anyway.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know Elon Musk, so who am I to judge him?
right. But we do know Kurt.
Yes. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Yes, we know him. We met him a couple times.
Just a few, you know. For those of you who don't know, Kurt is our mentor inside of trading. And he's phenomenal. He's a unique individual whom we appreciate and love to know.
That's
him.
right.
But yeah, so the thing is though, if you take the time out to take advantage of some of the things that are out there, the resources that are out there for you to become more efficient, more effective in your business, in your life, don't just listen or read the books. Maybe implement one thing at a time. So over time, you now have gotten that first thing helped you save 10 minutes a day because you were only doing it twice. Now you do it 10 times and you're saving a whole hour a day, hour and a half a day, right? And now you can implement a second or third thing, right? It's about just being extremely picky with what you do with your time. You can't get it back. So if you waste an hour and a half binge watching 3 episodes of your favorite thing, was that brain break time where you just needed some time away from being productive, or were you supposed to be being productive and you weren't? Right.
And that's a good point because you do need brain breaks. So that's okay. You schedule those too. Like if you need a brain break. So
my brain breaks are usually during food.
Oh my gosh, you're so
funny. I multitask. I cook dinner or lunch or something, then I eat, and then I plop down on my favorite spot. Yup. I like hot Cheetos and hot fries and queso snacks, right? But I find my little favorite spot on my couch and it's my brain break, but I do have a timer set because like we said, you can't do more than 90 minutes. And usually every 90 minutes I need a snack.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. It's true. You should get up and walk, especially if you're doing something that's sitting. Just because I've been struggling so much with my weight, I'm looking at getting the standing desk where you put not just the regular standing desk, but the treadmill desk where you're just slowly walking on it. Yeah, I was watching The Land Geek, if you guys don't know who he is. And I was actually watching some interviews with him. He's a marketer, but he's into real estate because I'm a real estate person too. So anyway, he everything he does now, every time I see him recently in the last couple of years, he's on he's walking while he's talking. And it's not like he's sitting there breaking a sweat. It's on a slow walk, right? While he's on his podcast or where he's even when he's working. And I'm like, oh, I need one of those treadmill desks. So
they got a bike one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh, this is nice. Because like I pace, I think I'm more productive when I pace when I'm having phone calls. And I don't know why. Like the calls just seem to be epiphany feel, right?
Yep.
So this is nice.
She just Googled.
Yeah.
Google's a thing.
Yep. Google is, you see how quick that worked. I'm just saying.
Right. So I hope you guys got a little bit of insight from us, just, gleaning a little glimpse into our life as far as how we hack things. You can get so much done in short periods of time. We've seen, people of full-time jobs, two jobs, they go out there and they smash it inside of their network marketing business by just doing 90 minutes of extremely focused effort. And they'll sometimes pass up people who have 80 hours a week to do the business.
Yep.
And it's all about what you accomplish. You do not have to work all day and all night in your business. And really you should be focusing on working on your business more than in your business anyway. That's a whole nother thing. I think we talked about that last week a little bit. So like right now, like 90% of my time is focusing on building out systems, not, doing business presentations because I want the systems to do the presentations. Right. So when you are looking at like, okay, I only have X amount of hours. Are you actually being productive? Are you just checking your email?
Are you being busy?
Yeah.
Or productive.
Busy is like it's a trick. and I think deep down, it's like, that you're not really being productive, but
Yep.
maybe you can tell your spouse, well, I was in my office. I worked for an hour and a half today. I don't know why we're not getting anywhere in the business,
Right.
but please still support me. And then meanwhile, your spouse thinks you were in there for 90 minutes being productive and you're not making any money. And chances are that you were not doing an income producing activity. So,
right. And I think we talked about that the other day, the difference between essential income producing activities, non-essential income producing activities, activities that you need to get done that are not income producing, but they're not essential. And then activities that you need to get done that are non-essential and they do not produce income. Like make a list.
Right. There are essential activities that are, it's hard to wrap your head around it. Essential non-income producing. It means you do have to do them, but they aren't the real things that make you money. But if you don't do them, you can't make money either. So that's why it's like you trick yourself. You think, well, I'm working on my blog. I'm working on my social media. I'm working on these things. These are now non-income producing activities. The only income producing activities inside of your network marketing business is if you're prospecting. That prospecting and doing enrollments.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Right.
But like the non-essential part of enrollments is if you do not have an onboarding system in place, onboarding individual people as opposed to working on the system so that they can be onboarded the same way every time. So it's essential, but it's not income producing at that point.
And it's like right now, like we're working on an enrollment system. Mm-hmm. The working on the enrollment system is going to create a lot of enrollments for us, but it's still a non-income producing activity right now, but is an essential one.
Yep.
That's how you trick yourself. Right. So yeah. So you want to always be working on your systems. I've got worksheets. If you guys ever want to message me, I've got worksheets so that you can like implement your whole year's plan on working on 60 minutes on systems every day. So that by the time the year is done, you've gotten all your systems in place, right?
Put it in the newsletter. Drop a little one.
I could put it in the newsletter. You know what? We'll do a little training on it because it's a lot. And you know what? Most business owners do stuff like that. Most network marketers don't.
So you want to do a live on it, and then after the live, drop it in the newsletter?
Yep. Let's do a live on it because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for you guys to wrap your head around. So and we can give you that we can give you the worksheet. So yes, let's do it. Let's not do it tomorrow, but
no. We'll plan it out.
Yeah, we'll plan it out.
Right. But that is gonna be our show.
See ya. Bye.
Right.
No, we're kidding.
Enjoy. I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to subscribe for pipsforbrunch.com. That way you get a chance to see some of the stuff that we don't do live or on our TikTok or on our Instagram or even on the Facebook page, because we just talked about dropping sauce in there after one of these. So make sure that you subscribe to pipsforbrunch.com, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye. See you tomorrow.